everyone. In this afternoon, we will discuss self-assessment and peer assessment. Please, everybody, read our learning objectives.
At the end of the lesson,
The student should be able to understand the importance of self-assessment in improving learning and critical thinking. Learn how to use rubrics, portfolios, and other tools to assess one's work and their work effectively, and enhance metacognition skills by reflecting on learning progress and areas for improvement.
Self and peer assessment are strategies that help students take an active role in their learning, reflecting on their own work or giving feedback to classmates. Students develop important skills like self-awareness, critical thinking, and responsibility. These assessments also support better learning outcomes when guided by clear criteria and supported classroom environment. So these two strategies for the self-assessment and peer assessment are learning tools or assessment tools that can help the students to enhance their to reflect on their own learning, and if they do well or they do not, or which part they need improvement. And it can also help the students to take control of their own learning, because they do not rely or they do not depend on their teachers kung ano yung sabihin kung tama ba or mali, because they learn to think for themselves, and they learn to reflect. What is self-assessment? Please, everybody.
Student self-assessment involves students describing and evaluating the processes and products of their learning. Students evaluate the work they have produced and reflect on the processes, actions, and activities that they contributed to the production of work. Self-assessment is a key part of assessment for learning, where reflection during the flow of learning is used to improve learning, teaching.
and teaching.
So as a student, we need to look at our own work and think about how we did, or the steps we took, and the effort we gave in doing such activities. And we try to understand kung ano yung mga nakakatulong sa atin and kung saan ang part tayo nahihirapan. And for example, if we made a project where we answered an activity, we try to ask ourselves kung is my work complete, or nagawa ko ba lahat ng dapat kong gawin? Or did I follow the instructions? Sumunod ba ako sa mga instructions na dapat sundin? And what are the part was easy, or what are the part was hard? And what can I do better next time? So by doing this, or by asking ourselves these questions, we can we think more about our own learning process, and it also helps us to control our own learning, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina. For example, if we notice that something is not working well, di ba hindi naman natin ipagpatuloy kung ano yung ginawa natin kasi alam natin mali. So we become more aware to ourselves, and we can change our way of doing things. And by doing this self-assessment, we can believe in ourselves. We believe in ourselves more. Like, napipil natin na kaya natin to, or kaya ko to. We can believe in ourselves more. That if we believe that we can be more, we can improve, and we can succeed. We become more focused and active on our learning. But of course, as a student, sometimes or many times we lost our hope. Hindi naman talaga natin yan naiiwasan kasi student tayo. So instead of i-down natin yung sarili natin, we try to do the self-assessment, because self-assessment is not just reflecting or not just evaluating, but also to apply the things. What are the things you need to do to make your mistakes right, or what are the things you need to do to make yourself improve. Next, what is peer assessment? Please, everybody.
Peer assessment is the assessment of student work by other students of equal status. Peer assessment is a powerful metacognition. It engages students and develops their capacity to reflect and critically evaluate their and skills development.
So peer assessment means you check your own work and then you give feedback to your classmates' work. So para ito, classmates helping classmates. And kagaya mo nang sinabi ko kanina, na we do not just rely to our teacher kung kailan nila sasabihin kung ano yung tama or kung ano yung mali. Kasi we also learn from our classmates. So and usually peer assessment is we do the peer assessment together with the self-assessment. So first is check muna natin yung ating sariling work, and then we check our classmates' work, and then we give positive feedback or what we call the constructive feedback. And when we do the peer assessment, we're not just only helping our peers or our classmates, but also we are helping ourselves to learn more. And it also helps us develop our useful skills like critical thinking skills and teamwork and communication and in understanding the subject or the topic. Peer assessment also gives many benefits. Please, everybody read.
Reduce the gap the highest and lowest achievers. Support more equal
Outcomes for all students. Improve motivation and perseverance and encourage students to seek and more competition. Develop students' self-regulation skills and metacognition. Create a more egalitarian and supportive classroom environment.
So dito sa reduce the gap between the highest and lowest achievers. Example dito is kapag merong student sa classroom na magaling na siya sa in writing essays, and yung isa naman is nagsastruggle siya sa pagsusulat ng essay, yung better student na nagsusulat ay na magaling siyang magsulat ng essay, pwede siyang makabigay ng tips or idea doon sa struggling student, in which yung struggling na students is nakaka-learn din from better students, and yung better student naman na magaling sa essay is magpa-practice din siya kung paano magbigay ng constructive feedback doon sa struggling students. So, meron pa rin exchange of learning. Next is support more equitable outcomes for all students. So, dito naman is, meron talagang mga students na they're shy for asking help to the teacher or kanang guidance. Pero, makaka-learn pa rin sila using this peer assessment from their classmates. So all the students can get feedback not just from the teachers but also but also from their peers or their classmates. Improve motivation and perseverance and encourage students to seek and know where to find help. So dito naman, kapag tayo nakakatanggap o nagbibigay ng constructive feedback sa ating mga classmates, instead na nasifeel natin na hindi na tayo magpatuloy, na-motivate tayo kasi binigyan tayo ng constructive feedback or yung positive na feedback. Next, develop students' self-regulation skills and metacognition. So example nito is, meron talaga sa atin, di ba, na hindi nagbabasa ng instructions sa mga quizzes or sa mga tests. So, for example, if si Miss Rivas, yung family ni Miss Rivas ang nag-check is si Miss Kibod. And then, na-notice ni Miss Kibod na the same lang yung mistake ni Miss Rivas to the previous nga quiz nga kung ano yung mistake niya. For example, is ang isulat ng dapat is P or F. Tapos, ang sinulat ni Miss Rivas yung true or false. Tapos, pinoint out ni Miss Kibod na siya yung nag-check sa paper ni Miss Rivas na the same lang yung mistake niya dati and the same lang din yung mistake niya ngayon. So, by doing that, si Miss Rivas is na-aware siya kung ano yung mga bagay na kailangan niyang baguhin sa pagsagot sa kanyang sa mga tests na kailangan talaga niyang magbasa ng mga instructions para maganda yung makuha niya na course. Next, create a more egalitarian and support classroom environment. So kaya na sinabi ko kanina na kapag tayo mga students nakakatanggap ng mga good or positive na comments or feedback sa ating mga peers, is nang-motivate tayo. So by doing that, it builds a classroom where everyone feels respected and supported, not being rejected or not being judged by others. Self-assessment and peer assessment. Please read everyone.
Self and peer assessment are defined as assessment as learning and, once fully embedded into teaching, can be particularly effective
Motivating pupils to move forward in
their own learning.
So, by using the self-assessment and peer assessment, it helps the students to be more active in their learning or their own learning process. And because it helps, self-assessment and peer assessment is not just giving grades or giving scores for your classmates' work, but also to reflect, to think, and to improve. What are the things you need to improve? And as a teacher, we need to teach our students kung paano magbigay ng constructive feedback sa ating mga students para yung mga students hindi lang nila alam na ito yung tama at ito yung mali. Alam din nila kung paano i-explain kung ano yung nagawa mo ng tama and ano yung mga kailangan mong i-improve. How to set up successful self-assessment? Please, everybody, read.
Explain the benefits of self-assessment. Explicitly
teach students how to self-assess and provide ongoing support. Allow students to contribute to creating standards or criteria. Create a positive, trusting classroom culture. Use self-assessment as a formative, not a summative assessment tool. Consider using a rubric. Follow up self-assessments with student-teacher learning conversations.
So first, explain the benefits of self-assessment. So una talaga, dapat explain natin yung benefits ng self-assessment kung ano yung nakukuha ng mga students kapag nag-self-assess sila. Para ma-convince, the more ma-convince yung mga students na sa importance or sa benefits ng self-assessment, mas nag-i-engage sila or mas nagiging interesado sila sa paggawa ng self-assessment. Second, explicitly teach students how to self-assess and provide ongoing support. So, merong mga students na hindi alam kung paano mag-self-assess. So, as a teacher, kailangan natin silang turuan directly kung paano mag-self-assess. And also to provide them opportunities and for the students to practice their self-assessment and to receive feedback and assistance. Especially sa katong mga lower achieving students or katong lower level na students na they need guide or instructions to follow. And by providing the students the guidance and support, malaki ang impact nun sa learning process or sa self-assessment ng students. Next is allow students to contribute to creating standards or criteria. So, example nito is kapag yung student is nag-i-engage or nag-contribute sa creation of standards or criteria, yung student is mas lalo siyang nag-i-engage, and naging interesado sa self-assessment. And if that happens, kapag naging interesado na yung student, mas nagiging ka ng inspire, mas nagiging inspire na siya ba kung na gawin yung self-assessment. And number 4, create a positive, trusting classroom culture. So, kagaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, di ba, na we should build a classroom where everyone feels safe, that they are respected and supported, not being rejected or judged by others. Kasi for me, it is very important impact yun sa student na ma-feel niya na safe siya sa classroom, yung safety niya. Kasi kapag yung student, for example, nakakuha ng mababang score, hindi siya nahihiya na sabihin sa kanyang mga classmates na mababa yung score niya kasi alam niya sa kanyang sarili na hindi siya i-judge or i-babash ng kanyang mga students, hindi siya i-bully. Number 5, use self-assessment as a formative, not a summative assessment. So, self-assessment is kanang successful kapag ginamit natin siya as a formative, not a summative. Kasi pag formative natin siya ginamit, alam ng mga students na hindi siya makaka-apekto sa kanilang final grades kasi formative lang. So, mas nagiging honest sila sa pagsagot sa self-assessment. Number 6, consider using a rubric. So, familiar naman tayo sa rubrics kasi ginagamit natin ito sa ating mga activities. Rubric is a guide or scoring tool that shows how a student's work will be graded. And pwede rin ito siyang gamitin kung paano natin gawin yung isang bagay to the help of rubrics kasi mayroon tayong parang guide kung paano gawin yung work. And then, pwede din ito siyang gamitin pag-check ng output kasi doon din siya nakabase sa rubric. Number 7, follow up self-assessment with student-teacher learning conversation. So, after ng student mag-self-assess is, pwede siyang magtanong sa kanyang teacher about sa kanyang self-assessment. And nakakatulong ito sa student para makapagtanong din sa kanyang student kung ano yung mga pagkukulang niya or saan siya nagkulang at kung ano pa yung mga bagay na kailangan niya pang i-improve. And kapag hindi naman tugma yung result ng self-assessment ni teacher at yung self-assessment ng student is okay lang yon. Kasi nga, di ba, nakikipag-talk siya para malaman niya kung ano yung mga na-miss niya ng mga activities, ano yung mga pagkukulang niya, ano pa yung kaya niya, pwede niya pang i-improve. Next, pitfalls to avoid in self-assessment. Please read, everyone.
A lack of trust and social pressure. Over or underestimating one's ability. Insufficient knowledge to accurately self-assess. Student may not be old enough. Student willingness is self-assess.
So, first is lack of trust and social pressure. Kagaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina na merong mga students talaga na nahihiya or hindi kayang sabihin in front of others kapag mababa yung score nila. And based on my research, na mayroong mga students talaga na hindi nila kayang sabihin sa kanilang mga classmates in front of their classmates kung yung total scores nila. For example, nagre-record yung teacher sa front ng scores and then i-read aloud lang yung mga scores ng mga students. Merong students talaga na iba yung, based sa research ha, iba yung sinasabi niya na score sa totoong score niya. Kasi hindi niya gusto mabully or kanang ma-discriminate or ma-judge ng ibang classmates niya. So, yun yung dapat natin i-avoid.
Yes.
Number 2, over or underestimating one's ability. So, dito naman, yung ibang mga students din sometimes is they think that they are better than they really are. Or parang nagtuko sila ba? Akala nila na magaling sila sa ganyang bagay, pero hindi naman pala. And mostly, yung mga higher achieving student or mga higher level na student, sila yung mas honest at mas humble sa pagsagot ng kanilang self-assessment. And in some cultures kasi, pag sinabi mo na magaling ka dyan or marunong ka sa isang bagay, parang you are bragging or you are parang nagyayabang ka na marunong ka dyan.
So, yeah, okay.
Oo. Number 3, insufficient knowledge and accurately self-assess. So dito naman, kung kulang pa yung kaalaman ng isang student is nag-hesitate pa siya na mag-self-assess kasi parang natithink niya pa na kulang pa yung kaalaman niya, natatakot pa siyang magkamali. And kahit alam nila dito na mayroong problema, nahihirapan pa rin sila baguhin yung way kung paano sila, kung ano yung dapat nilang i-improve. So, kailangan pa rin talaga ng tulong ng teacher. Number 4, students may not be old enough. So, dito naman, may mga batang students talaga na hindi pa nila alam kung paano gawin yung self-assessment. So, dahil nga sa, they're not old enough. Pero tayo dito at college level or yung mga high school, kaya na natin gawin yung self-assessment kasi aware na tayo sa ating sarili kung ano yung mga nagawa natin na tama and ano yung mga nagawa natin na hindi masyadong maganda and kung ano pa yung mga bagay na dapat natin i-improve as a learner. Number 5, students' willingness to self-assess. So, minsan talaga, may mga students na ayaw nilang mag-self-assess kasi feeling nila hindi pa nila kaya mag-self-assess or natatakot silang mag-self-assess or meron lang talagang mga students na gusto nila na si teacher lang yung mag-check. And meron din mga students na hindi nila alam yung importance ng self-assessment, kaya hindi sila masyadong interesado sa pagsagot or paggawa ng self-assessment. So, yun yung mga bagay na dapat din natin i-examine. Assessment tools for self and peer assessment. Please read everyone.
Rubrics. Rubrics are an assessment tool which include two types of information. A list of area for assessing the important goals of the task, a scale for grading the different levels of achievement in each of the criteria with a description for each qualitative level.
So, kagaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, di ba, very familiar na tayo yung rubrics ay ginagamit natin siya sa ating mga activities. Ginagamit natin siya as a guide kung paano gawin yung isang bagay or isang output, and ginagamit din siya para ma-check yung isang output and for yung mga work natin. And pwede siyang list of criteria, pwede din yung using scale for grading. Next, script. Please read everyone.
Script consists of specific questions that are structured into a clear progression
steps to guide learners in how best to achieve a task.
as useful for students to follow throughout the task, but it can be also used to
analyze the final outcome.
So, ang script ay para siyang questions na nagkasunod-sunod. The-same lang din siya ng concept sa rubrics na pwede mo din siyang gamitin na guide kung paano gawin yung isang bagay and kung paano may check yung isang bagay. Pero ang kaibahan lang ng premise, meron siyang guide questions na nagkasunod-sunod kung paano mo gawin yung isang output or project. Next, journal. Please read everyone.
A learning journal is a place for students to reflect in writing about how their learning is going, what they need help with, and the effectiveness of different strategies for learning. For example, you might ask students to respond to questions such as these in your journal. Think about your work in relation to success criteria and write in your journals. What you notice you were able to do well and 2 things you need to work on next.
So, familiar naman din sa atin kong journals, diba? Dito tayo nagre-reflect or nagsusulat kung ano yung mga natutunan natin. Dito mo isusulat yung yung mga natutunan mo at ano kayong mga nagawa mo na effective na strategy sa yung learning process and yung mga bagay na kailangan mo pang i-improve. So, dyan pwede mo dyan isulat yung lahat ng yun. Number 4, portfolios. Please, everybody read.
A portfolio is a student's managed collection of work which demonstrates students' learning and developing competence. Portfolios are digital rather than paper-based, which solve issues of storage and the risk of loss or damage.
So, familiar naman din sa atin itong portfolio, di ba? Kasi some teachers is nag-require sa atin na gawin itong portfolio. Yes. For example, na dito natin nilalagay yung collections of outputs natin. And pwede din ito siya digital, kagaya ng pinagawa ni Ma'am Venus na e-portfolio or electronic portfolio. Mas advantage siya kasi mas risk siya sa layo sa risk of loss damage. Hindi siya dahil siya mawala sa. Number 5 is traffic lights. Please read everyone.
Traffic lights are simple system for students to use to indicate their perceived understanding of a particular work. Using a traffic light icon,
Students label their work green, yellow, or red according to whether
good green, partial yellow, or letter red as understanding.
So, traffic light, ito yung pinaka-simple talaga kasi gamit ka lang ng colors. Kapag green yung race ng isang student is na naintindihan talaga yung lesson. Kapag yellow naman yung race ng student is hindi niya masyadong naintindihan yung lesson at kailangan niya pa ng tulong sa teacher. And kapag red naman yung erase ng student, hindi niya talaga na-understand yung lesson at kailangan niya pa talaga ng tulong ng teacher. And kapag yung student naman is nag-erase siya ng red na color, dapat feel din ng student na safe yung classroom kasi para hindi siya nahihiya or natatakot na i-bully na hindi ko niya masyadong maintindihan or yun. So, by doing this, by using this traffic light, mas na-identify ng teacher ba kung sino talaga yung kailangan pa ng tulong, sino talaga yung nakaintindi, at sino talaga yung kailangan pa ng improvement. Last is exit card. Please read the other one.
An exit card is a small piece of card given to each student at the end of the lesson, on which they write a comment to self-assess what they learned in the lesson and what they need more help with. Exit cards might be printed like this.
So, exit card is bibigay ko sa student at the end of the lesson. Pwede mo isulat dito mo ano yung mga natutunan mo at ano ba yung gusto mong matutunan. So, example, the 3 most important parts of the lesson. So, dyan mo ilalagay. And then, the 2 parts of the lesson I most enjoyed were. And 1 question I would like to ask. So, ito yung example. Self and peer assessment enhance learning by promoting reflection, independence, and critical thinking. Teachers should provide clear guidelines, use assessment tools, and create a supportive environment to help students assess effectively and grow through feedback. So, in conclusion, self-assessment is you check your own work, and peer assessment is to check your classmates' work. And both assessment tools can help you learn better. And it makes you think and makes you reflect on your own learning process. And also the teacher should need to provide clear directions or guidelines kung paano gamitin yung mga tools na na-discuss kanina. Like for example, yung rubrics. Para yung mga students is marunong silang mag-evaluate ng kanilang own learning. And that ends my discussion. Do you have any questions or clarifications?
None.
So please get 1/4 sheet of paper.